Okay guys, we are back today with a final farewell video and update of my 98 Buick LeSabre. I really don't know how to get into it, but this is it. This is the last video of it. I decided to get rid of it, and I really don't need it anymore. So it's time for it to go, and it's been the best car. I think it's been the best cheap car I've ever owned. I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm getting rid of it because I just simply don't need it anymore. So that being said, like I said, it's a comfortable car. It gets great gas mileage. It's a beast. It's been in like 2 or 3 wrecks at this point, and it just keeps going. I mean, as you can see from the last update video I made, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, it has a new color added to it, and we'll get to that. But anyways, I figured I would get it all cleaned up. It's all cleaned out, and I'm ready. I'm gonna go park it after this video. So anyways, here it is. I bought it with 71,000 miles on it. It now has 91,000 miles on it. I bought it in October or November of 2017, and I've put 20,000 miles on it. That's more than a lot of people drive a year. So I do drive 150 miles a day, but I have driven a few other cars since then in between this ownership. And again, my sister drove this car for about a month and a half when I had bought the wagon, and I had actually traded her. I gave her the wagon, so we traded cars again because I had found out the hard way that Focus wagon isn't the best on the freeway. It doesn't have the passing power. It's not as fuel efficient as this. This gets better mileage, and it's more comfortable, and this is just more my style for the freeway. This, again, it's a superior ride quality. So she has driven that. Again, this probably saved 5,000 miles on it when I had driven the wagon between this period of time. But I've been driving this for about a month and a half, 2 months now. And I just haven't had time to make an update video or really seen it necessary. But anyways, here it is. Again, as you can see, it does have a new door on. I actually put that door on about 3 weeks ago. Basically, I ride my bicycle, and I had a bike rack, a Rhino rack on top of the Buick. It actually was custom made. It's a custom fit for your from my ST I had. So basically those, I was just playing around one day, and I put them on this, and it fit really good. So I had my bicycle on here, and I drive my bike all around the state, so that worked out really well. And I actually had to replace the door because if you remember from my crash, this got dented in and the latch got jammed. So there was no way to open the door, and I tried everything. As you can see, when we're going to open the door up, I tried prying it open. I tried everything. I even went to the inside of the car and like laid down, and I tried kicking it open, and nothing would happen. And so eventually I gave up, and I was like, well, how do I take the door off? As you can see, I tried every angle I could. I tore this all up. I really didn't care what I tore up. But anyways, as you can see, as I could have seen when I went over here, I saw there's 4 bolts holding this door on. So I ripped the door off, the old door, and you have to take the door panel off to get the wiring removed. I, of course, couldn't get the door panel off, so I did what I did best, and I just ripped it out, and the door latch was still jammed. So I had to rip it, like, every angle, and it finally came undone in that. And within that happening, I ripped all the wiring out, so there's just exposed wiring. I don't know. I just tucked it back in there. I'll do it after the video, but I do have a functioning door now. As you can see, it isn't tinted, and the rain deflector isn't on there because there's no sense in it, because there's no power going to this. It's a door that opens and closes. And again, this is from the same rack. It's just I really never see the replace. I was never going to replace that, but I had the roof rack I ended up using on it. And coming up to the front, it's been good. I put 2 new headlights in it from my crashes. The fender, of course, it's not even aligned. I drove it into a ditch at one point, and I drove it right out of the ditch. Took out a stop sign. I mean, it's just been a great car, and you know, things that I couldn't help that just happened to it. This is JB welded back on, and it's duct taped to the mirror. I mean, who's gonna, if I were to put a new mirror on this car, it's not gonna look any better. And I do apologize, guys, I'm fighting a cold right now. So coming over to the wheels and tires, if you can remember, I had Pirellis on it. I actually had given those to my grandfather. He's had it for about a year now. I have still yet to make a video of it. He has a 98 Ford Windstar Limited. It's from the West Coast, so it has like no rust on it. It's mint. Anyways, his van came with these Bridgestones. Were actually on my Honda Odyssey that he had swapped over onto his van. So these are from the ghetto Honda Odyssey. So we swapped these onto here yesterday, and they're still pretty good tread life. It's just the rubber of the tire isn't as good as the Pirellis I had. And when he bought his van, the dealership also put these brand new Linglong crosswinds on them. They're just really bad tires, but they're still pretty meaty. But again, the Pirellis I had were much better, in much better shape than both of these. So I don't feel as bad as getting rid of this Buick with really nice Pirelli tires on it. So that, you know, there's all that for the exterior. So coming over to the interior, it really hasn't worn much else other than the carpet's a little dirty. I have not gonna even vacuum it. But other than that, it's just gotten a little dirty over the time. This is from my foot kicking it. The leather seat, again, it's a little more worn down, but it was never in the best shape when I got it. This is ripped right there, and you see the foam's kind of just deteriorating. But these seats, you can look at my hand. These seats are literally the most comfortable seats you will ever sit in. I love this car because when I'm on my lunch break at work, actually, let's see if I can do this. This seat goes full, this seat folds flat. You can sleep in this thing. You could legitimately sleep in this car. It's just, it does it all. I mean, it's so cool. You can stretch across here, take your shoes off and eat, and that's exactly what I do. I just chill out. And again, that's another reason I hate to get rid of this car. It's so comfortable, but you know, time to move on. It still starts up fine. It's starting to rain a little bit out. This is I peeled this off one day because I got bored, but here's all your power seating controls. They all do work. Air conditioning, it's summer now, so I did start to use the air conditioning, and it blows cubes. It's insanely cold. I'm not gonna really miss that because my next car has air conditioning, but it still works really good for 20 years old. As you can see, 91,490, so 20,000 miles basically. It needs an oil change and another 500 miles, but anyways, here's the steering wheel. It's worn really good. No, you know, you just got to be a clean person, and your Buick LeSabre steering wheel is not gonna wear. If you look at these on the used market, they are all black and peely and gross. There's teeth marks on them. Don't ask me how they got there, but you know, this one has aged nice. Come over here, center console. I still have some information in there, my personal stuff. It's worn really good, other than it just needs a really kind of a fine detail, but you know, it's a cheap car and I'm not selling it for a lot. And honestly, if somebody were to come offer me 500 bucks for it, I would take it. So that being said, unfortunately, you're not going to get a complimentary vacuum with it. Everything else, the headliner has held up really well. I also put the stock head unit back in because I may have a car in the future that needs an aftermarket radio, and that's just probably one less thing I'd have to buy for that car. I might have another Buick in the future, so who knows. So I put this back in, and it actually had gotten locked out because this has the GM theft lock back when people stole car radios in the day. So I had to go on kind of like the dark webs to get the code for that, and it was really ghetto on how I found it. But anyways, I got it. So coming to the rear seat. Again, I don't know if this Buick is special or if it has a special equipment option of just extra plush seats, because I've been in several LeSabres like this and the seats just are not as plush. So this is, if I were to find a mint LeSabre right now, I would swap the interior over, but I just don't happen to have a clean 98 LeSabre in my hands right now. So that being said, unfortunately, I will not be seeing these seats much longer. Armrest. And let me tell you, these back seats are comfortable. So yeah, there's that. Again, it's a really clean car until I had my name on the title, and it just kind of went downhill. But this car has been used, and I don't think if anybody else were to buy this car, it wouldn't have been used as much as I've used it. So that being said, it's been a great car. The only thing that's starting to happen with the interior is this is starting to deteriorate. And partially too, when they had to remove this to tint the windows, this kind of got ripped as well, so there's to that. But again, this material isn't the best. As you can see, it's starting to do it on this side as well. But the headliner itself is still intact, and it's showing no signs of sagging just yet. This video is all over the place, but it does have a winter Cooper tire back there. I'll probably just let go with it because I don't foresee my next car having 16-inch wheels. Do have a jack back here. It's never been used. As you can see, it's still all greased up. There's this full-size spare under there as well, but I'm gonna leave it with the car. And here's the trim from the other fender I had. But yeah, there it is. It's all there for the next owner. I actually took the front window tint off when my sister started driving it, so there's like 4 windows that are tinted on this thing now. And I'd like to also turn on the headlights because I actually had installed LED headlights a few weeks ago. The stock ones were pretty dull, and this one was starting to flicker, so I figured it was time for an upgrade. So they're LEDs. They're pretty bright at night. They're obnoxious. I have never been flashed though, so I don't think they're too obnoxious. But they're LEDs and reflector housings. But whatever. There it is, running totally smooth. It's had new plugs and wires since the last video. It's got a new serpentine belt on it. Since the last video, the belt actually had snapped on my sister, and she had pulled off, thankfully, in time to save that. But other than that, the car is really not asked for a whole lot. It's been a good car, and with proper maintenance from the next owner, it's going to make a great car for somebody else. So that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this Buick as much as I have. It's definitely been a great car and served me well. It's time to move on. So as usual, guys, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you all later.